Hello, friends. My name is Mr. Davies. That's Mr. Davies, like blister rabies or sister babies. It kind of sounds like Davis, but there's an E there toward the end. And this is my good friend Nadine. And today we're going to read a book that I wrote and that my good friend Mr. Carlos Martinez, our illustrious art teacher here at Charles A. Gill Elementary, illustrated and put together for me. I'm going to start here at the front cover, and it says, "This is Mr. Davies." I really like that like Superman looking S thing that he did. That's a nice touch. Mr. Davies helps children talk and listen. And then there's a picture of me saying hello. And then down here it says, "This is Nadine, Mr. Davies' very special guitar." Now, how many of y'all, when you saw Nadine, thought she was a guitar? It's okay if you didn't. I mean, it's, she does look kind of like a lot of guitars, but also not like other guitars. Like, she's made out of wood, and there's a neck and a headstock and 6 strings and a sound hole, but there's a lot of differences as well, and that's what the next page is all about. It says, "Nadine is different than most guitars, but she can do the same things other guitars can do." And that's very true. And over here you can see, here's some other guitars that you might see. These are both electric guitars, and this one is an acoustic guitar like Nadine, except that the difference is this guitar, most acoustic guitars, they have this kind of shape. It looks like an hourglass or like the number 8. And Nadine does not have that shape. She's kind of flare shaped, you might say. Flare, that's the word you would use to describe this shape, where it's kind of like a triangle, but the sides kind of swoop out like this. Flare shape. And down here it says, "Nadine has 6 strings like other guitars. Her strings make musical notes when they are plucked or strummed." Those are both really good words to know when you're talking about guitars. Plucked and strummed. Pluck simply means to play one string. You can use your finger to play one string like this, or you could use your thumb if you wanted to, or a lot of people use what we call a pick. You say pick. Yeah, I can't get it out. Ugh. There we go. Yeah, little piece of plastic, triangular looking thing. They use picks to pluck strings as well. So pick, and then strumming, well, strumming is when you play more than one string. You can strum 2 strings or 3 strings. Oh, so you got it. There's 3 strings, 4 strings, or all 6 if you want to. Or you could use your thumb or your finger, any way that you wanted to strum the strings. Pluck and strum. And then there's some good pictures Mr. Martinez drew of plucking and strumming. And let me turn the page. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you guys might be wondering if there's something wrong with my teeth. There's not. I get that a lot. It's just that there's a lot of gaps in them. But yeah, if you see my mouth, you might be wondering that. I like this next picture a lot. Nadine has a mouth. Now you see how Mr. Martinez kind of drew Nadine to look like she's got a face. Like there's the eyes, they're closed, and there's the eyebrows, and the sound hole looks like a nose. And then this part down here is called the bridge, but he made it look like a mouth. So yeah, bridge, that's this part of the guitar. You might know that word from being used differently. A lot of times when we talk about bridges, we're talking about something that people use to walk or to drive across, to get from one side of something to the other, kind of like that. That's a typical example of a bridge. That's one meaning of the word, but then it's also this part of a guitar, or a violin, or a cello, or any stringed instrument. So bridge. But and also I like how my friend Mark Merchant, who did this great artwork on Nadine, he drew what looks like a mouth down here. You see that? It looks like these are the teeth, and it looks like a smile, and then there's these dimples over here. Pretty cool. But yes, Nadine has a mouth, and Mr. Davies makes her talk by plucking or strumming her strings. So this is something that is really special. That's why I call Nadine my very special guitar, because she has the power of telekinesis. Let's break that down. Telekinesis. telekinesis. Do you know what telekinesis is? Again, it's okay if you don't. It's, there's a lot of things I don't know, and if you don't know, you can say no, or you can say I don't know. Telekinesis is the power to move things without touching them. And Nadine has that power, but she only has that power with 10 things. She can control my fingers when she wants to make me play so that she can talk. Isn't that right, Nadine? See, I didn't do that. Nadine sort of used her telekinetic powers to talk for her. And you might wonder what she just said. Well, let's see if you can guess if I give you some other examples. Nadine, am I sitting down? Do birds fly? Do we use our noses to smell? Do we use our ears to hear? So, what do you think this means? If you guessed yes, then you're absolutely right. That's how Nadine says yes, and that means you just inferred meaning from context. Context. That sounds like something really smart people do, doesn't it? Inferring meaning from context. Well, it is, and if you did that, then you just proved that you're really smart. And if you didn't, that's okay, because it's a skill that we build on as we go along through life, and you've probably done it a million times in the past and just weren't aware that you were doing it. So basically, you use what you know to figure out what you don't know. You know that I'm sitting, you know that birds fly, you know that you use your nose to smell. So giving that context, that thing that we were talking about, you figured out, you inferred that meant yes, because the answer to all those questions I was just asking Nadine is yes. Anyway, getting back to the book. Ooh, wait a minute, but hang on. Nadine wants to say something. What is it, Nadine? A joke? Oh.
All right, well done, Steph. We are going to start promptly at 4 p.m. So if you're far away, you can go ahead and start making your way inside so we can get our parents to your classroom. We are going to start at 4 p.m. So if you're far away, go ahead and start making your way inside. We will start with our awesome parents. They are coming in now. We'll start in the auditorium. Remember, everyone's in the auditorium so we can do introduction. Thank you.
Anyway, yes, so Nadine just told a joke. The joke was, what is brown and fuzzy and wears sunglasses? Nadine, I have no idea. What is brown and fuzzy and wears sunglasses? Are you serious? A coconut on vacation. Okay, yeah, I don't think you get to laugh at that. That wasn't really that good. All right, so anyway, getting back to the book or not. Okay, what is it this time? Another joke. This time, I don't know, Nadine. What did the baby corn say to the mama corn? Where is popcorn? Now, you don't get to laugh at that one either. In fact, I think the last one was better than that one. Anyway, finally getting back to the book. Oh, sweet, merciful garbanzo beans. All right, one more, Nadine. What is it? When does a joke become a dad joke? Do you guys know this one? I don't remember. Fine. Okay, I don't know, Nadine. When does a joke become a dad joke? When the punchline is apparent. Okay, yeah, you can actually laugh at that. That was pretty good. Okay, but seriously though, can we get back to the book? You got all the jokes out of you? All right. Always the comedian, this one. Anyway, where were we? Oh yes, we were talking about how Nadine can talk, and at the bottom of that page it says, I can talk to Nadine with my voice, and she can talk to me with musical sounds. So we just kind of did a little demonstration of that, how, I talk to Nadine with my voice and she talks to me with music, but of course I'm the only one that seems to be able to understand most of what she says. However, sometimes people can infer from context because they're used to hearing what she says a lot, or because they know the answer to the question I asked, and so they figure out that must be what she said. So over here it says, Nadine says hello. Nadine, say hello to all my friends watching. So now you guys can say hello back with your voices. Nadine asks how I feel. Nadine, go ahead and ask me how I feel. That's how she says, how are you, or how are you doing? And then of course, depending on, well, right now I feel a little tired, kind of relieved. I got some stuff done today that I didn't think I'd be able to get done. And then it says, I can say I feel happy, or I feel tired, or I feel excited, or however you feel. That's you know, whenever anybody, not just Nadine, but whenever anybody asks you how you feel, you can say whatever you want, however you're feeling. Now, this page, it says, I can strum or pluck Nadine's strings when it's my turn. Mr. Davies puts his fingers on Nadine's neck, and his fingers make chords. So those of you who see me as speech therapy, we're going to do this a lot. I'm going to, ask you when it's your turn to come up. We might do a musical activity where you have to pluck the strings, or at the end, I might ask you to just simply choose a chord using this thing right here. So you could tell me, I want a happy chord, or I want a sad chord, or I want an angry chord, whatever. And then I'll make the chord with my fingers and you strum it with your strings. Now, I want to take a break here and just say, some of you might be wondering, what is a chord? He keeps using that word chord. Now, it's not the kind of chords that like you plug into a wall or you plug into electronics or anything like that. We're talking about this kind of chord, C-H-O-R-D. A chord in music just simply means more than one note. That's it. That's all it means. You might be thinking, what's a note? Well, this is a note. Or this is a note. Or this is a note. Or this is a note. La! Or, I can even get out another instrument like this harmonica here, if I can get it out. And I can play notes on it too. So those are all notes. Anything that you can sing or any tone that you can make on an instrument, that's a note. And when you combine notes, there's one note, there's two notes, that's a chord with two notes. Or that's a three-note chord, or that's a four-note chord. And you can even play up to 6 notes on a guitar at the same time because there's 6 strings. And you know what? That right there is exactly the same chord as that right there. Not very good at that, but they sound different, of course, because a harmonica sounds like a harmonica and a guitar sounds like a guitar, kind of like how I could say the word dog and then you could say the word dog and we'll be saying the same word, but it won't sound the same because your voice most likely sounds different than mine. And that's okay. We said the same word, but it sounds different. That's kind of how music works in a lot of ways. So that's what a chord is. It's just more than one note. What's a chord? More than one note. Right. So when you can choose on this chart what kind of chord you want. So Nadine, let's do a happy chord. How about that? You have a happy chord. Or I could choose a sad chord. Or I could choose an angry chord. That's an angry chord. Or a scary chord. Scary chord. Or even a silly chord. Anyway, so that's what we do a lot of the times. If you see me in speech therapy, that's the kind of stuff we'll be doing. And then, of course, I might ask you to make the face, too, because I like to see your happy face or sad face. And that's what it says down here. Some chords sound happy, some chords sound sad, or scary, or silly, and some chords sound mad. That was Mr. Martinez's idea right there. He made that rhyme, kind of like a Dr. Seuss book. I really like that. I can choose the chord I want by using my voice. So like I showed you on that chart, you say, I want a happy chord, or I want a sad chord. And then, I make the chord, you strum it, and then you gotta make the face and show me what your happy face looks like, or your sad face. And then finally, the last page. Mr. Davies makes the chord with his fingers, and I strum or pluck the strings. And there's another picture of me with a kid. Could be any kid. I work with lots and lots of kids, but definitely you can tell that's a kid there. Talking to Nadine and plucking or strumming her strings is fun. I like to use my voice to make choices. Yes, because it's important. You guys, all of you, I don't care who you are, you have choices to make, and it's good to let other people know. Not just that, but anything. I mean, all of you have important things to say. You have interesting things to say. You have helpful and kind things to say, just like other people have important, interesting, helpful, and kind things to say to you as well. And that's what we do in speech. We come here to learn both how to use our voices or whatever we have, maybe hand gestures or writing or picture cards, so that we can communicate and tell other people what we're feeling, what we're thinking, what's going on. And then, of course, we can understand better what other people are telling us. And that's a really important skill. You cannot possibly imagine how important the ability to communicate is, because that's the only way we have to get what's inside our heads into somebody else's head. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. My dad used to do this to me all the time. Are you listening? Don't think about elephants. Don't do it. Don't think about elephants. What are you doing right now? You're thinking about elephants, aren't you? Yeah, see, I did that. I made you think about elephants. All I had to do was open my mouth and make sounds with it, and now you're thinking about elephants. That's pretty powerful, isn't it? When you think about it, we have the ability to put thoughts in other people's heads, and they have the power to do that with us too. And if, when you look around, everything you see is really just because for years and years and years, people have been communicating with each other. They figured out how to build buildings. They figured out how to make instruments. They figured out all this stuff. And then people started doing it because somebody showed them how, told them how, helped them to communicate to them how to do all these wonderful things that we can all do. So, hopefully that you guys have an idea of what we're going to do in here, and I'm going to make more videos going over some stuff you can do at home to kind of help you with your language and communication skills. And if you have any questions or aren't sure about something, please feel free to comment down below if you want to, or just come to me when you see me in the hallway, or if you got my email address, whatever. I'm always happy to take questions and always happy to help in any way I can. Nadine, is there something you want to say? Do you guys know what she said? If not, let's see if we can infer from context. This is the end of the video. I'm about to turn the video off and stop recording. What do we usually say at the end when we're going to go away? There's something we say. What is it? Do we say thank you? Do we say I like ice cream? Do we say goodbye? What is that thing we say? Say it again, Nadine. We say goodbye, and I'll see you next time.